Hello there ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another video. So this is my review of Havoc OS. I've been using it for around a day now. I have migrated all my apps, all my data and all that kind of stuff onto it. So I'll be using it as my daily driver from now on pretty much. So this video will be kind of split up into sections, where I'm just going to talk about kind of the main things you guys probably want to know about at the start. Then I'm going to mention kind of the differences between Lineage and Havoc, since Lineage OS is the only other custom ROM available for this phone. And I'm going to show you kind of like how Havoc looks after you customize it a bit. Now, I haven't installed Gravity Box or exposed module yet, so this is purely the customizations available from Havoc. And then I'm gonna show you what customizations you can do from their configuration center. And lastly, I'm gonna show you some benchmarks. Now, I left these off for last since they take a while to do, and I'll just kind of leave them running towards the end of the video. So first of all, one of the main questions people ask is the refresh rate working? Like, can you get 120 Hertz refresh rate? And the answer is you can. I am running at 120 Hertz right now. If you can see, you probably can't. But if I click on it, it goes to 60, 90, then 120. So that's pretty good. Now, another question is, do air triggers work? And they do not. Since it's a custom ROM, you need to steal Asus's code, and that's illegal, so they don't work. At the moment, vibration doesn't work as well, but the dev said he's gonna try fairly hard to fix that. And the sound in calls works as well. So some people had problems with Lineage OS not being able to hear when people call you. This is not the case with Havoc OS. Well, it also wasn't really the case with Lineage OS if you installed it properly. And then another issue that kind of all custom ROMs are facing right now is the Magisk, the CTS profile yoke. This is failing. Now, there is a sort of fix you can do. I made a video about this. It's using exposed hidden core module, but this basically just spoofs CTS profile to returning to true, and it works fine for some apps, but for more kind of, I don't know, more secure apps, I would say it doesn't work. So like Netflix, I heard this technique doesn't work with it. So, you know, if you can't use Netflix, you can use So anyway, let's talk about the differences between Havoc OS and Lineage. First of all is, with Lineage, you might have noticed when you restart your phone, it kind of forces you, Android usually forces you to put in your PIN code instead of your fingerprint. And with Lineage, the fingerprint is actually on top of the keyboard, so you can't put it in. I'll actually show you what I mean now. So if I reboot, alright, so after you reboot your phone, normally Android forces you to put in your PIN code or whatever, but with Lineage, you would have like a big fingerprint sensor here at, like, say number 8 for example, and when you try to type number 8 you can't type because it like tries to scan your fingerprint, but like you can't scan it, you know, since Android doesn't allow. But yeah, with Havoc OS this problem is solved, which is nice. Now, another thing with Havoc OS is it has a face unlock. So if you go into security, and here we have face unlock as well. This is not here in Lineage, so that's pretty cool. And another thing is with the built-in screen recorder on Lineage for me didn't work at least, and the one on Havoc works fairly fine. So I'll actually start it up now since I'm going to be showing you the UI. So it's inside one of the tiles, so just click that thing and then you can do all that kind of stuff. So there we go, it is recording now. And so I'll show you kind of like how Havoc looks like after you customize the good bit. So you can probably see the date at the top and the time is customized, and I have a network speed indicator and stuff like that. And the tiles, you can see that they're slightly transparent. You can change the transparency level. I'm not sure if this will come out on camera very well, but you can see that they're transparent, and you can see that there's like 4 rows and then 6 columns. So that's nice, you can fit all of them here. And then also with Havoc OS, you can, if you have some app here that's kind of running but it freezes, you can hold, or some of these, yeah, so you can hold the app and then you can close it from directly from the notification, which is handy for titanium backup, especially when you're restoring. Sometimes the apps don't restore and titanium backup just hangs there. So that's nice that you can like force close the app from the notification. Let's see what else is here. Oh yeah, power menu, I suppose. It's all like, you can add torch, you can add all that kind of good stuff. You can use the triple fingers for screenshot, which is nice. Let's see, what else can you do? Oh yeah, gesture navigation works perfectly fine, and you can actually disable the stupid Android 10 bar at the bottom. You can set it to hidden, whereas in Lineage OS you just had to run a ADB command to do the same thing, which is no big deal, but it's nice to see that it's built in. Let's see what else is here that's nice. The volume, I suppose there isn't really much here. This is like fairly stock looking. Another thing I suppose is if you're playing music or whatever, so I'll actually just turn down the volume so the YouTube algorithm doesn't get angry. Alright, I'll turn it down so you can barely hear it. And on lock screen we have the kind of Lineage visualizer, but with Havoc you can put in more bars and you can make it change color. So I'll be showing you guys that later. This launcher that I'm using, by the way, is Smart Launcher. Alright, so now let's go into kind of more detail, if you will. So one cool thing about Lineage OS is inside display, you can set rotation to all. So if you flip your phone like upside down, I'm not going to do it now because it messes up the screen recorder, but if you flip it upside down, the display will be upside down, you know, how you would expect. So that's pretty cool. Another thing before I go into the configuration center is if you go into About Phone or System and Developer Options. If you don't have developer options, you can go into About Phone, then just click this build number 5 or 10 times or whatever it is. And then if you scroll down here to animations, if I can find it now, yeah, there we go. So you can actually change these to very low values. Normally on ROMs, like even stock ROMs, you can change this, but the lowest value is 0.5. But Havoc OS allows you to go to like even 0.1. So this way everything feels like super fast. You can turn off the animations as well, but you know, it's nice seeing like a super fast animation. So that's another cool thing about Havoc OS. Now, if I go into the configuration center, now in this version of Havoc OS, since it's kind of it's basically the first version for this phone. There isn't as much configuration options as there would be for, say, if you have like OnePlus 6 and using Havoc OS, there's like way more. But for like the first unofficial version, this is pretty good, I would say. So inside the status bar, you can customize the clock. So I have it here as center. You can put it as left, you can put it as right, but I think center looks pretty nice. I have show seconds on. And then the date, you can, so you can change the date to like small or hidden, but I just like it to have the same kind of size as the clock, otherwise it looks kind of weird. And then you can position it to right of time as well, but I prefer left of time. Date style is uppercase, lowercase letters, but it doesn't really matter for this format. And then for the format, you can choose any of these, or you can use JavaScript format as well. So if you click on that, it shows the date number and then the time. And then for here, I just set like an arrow. You can set whatever you want as well. You can even write words if you want. So there, okay, well, it didn't fit, but whatever. I'll just change it back to the arrow that I had since it looks pretty sick. All right, so that's the clock. Oh yeah, you can have also a logo. So if I enable that, you can have logo on the right. This kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of cool, I guess, but kind of useless at the same time. Since it's just permanently there in your status bar, I don't know what is the point of it. So yeah, I'll just turn that off. Brightness control. This basically enables you to swipe on the status bar to change brightness. I actually like this, I don't know why I had it off. And then you can double tap the notification bar to sleep. Hopefully that didn't mess up the screen recorder. Alright, next thing is network. Traffic. This is this thing at the side here, which shows your download and upload speed, which is nice. You can put in your carrier label as well. So I put my one on the lock screen, so I'll show you here now, if you can see it. No, you actually can't. Okay, never mind. Well, you can put it on the status bar as well. Then it says feckers there, because the fucking company that I use are truly feckers, if you know what I mean. Alright, and the battery style, you can have it as, I have it as hidden because I use the % sign, but you can have it as portrait, whatever that is. Oh yeah, so just the kind of default battery. You can have the circle. There you go, don't know why it takes so long to update. You can have the circle dotted, and you can have the circle filled, which looks kind of weird, but anyway, I just have it hidden because I have the battery percentage enabled. Alright, next is the status icons. This is kind of like your standard stuff where you can disable, I don't know, like if you have do not disturb mode on, you can disable it so it doesn't show. Then over here, these just show different icons for 4G, stuff like that. And then the roaming indicator, small mobile. Yeah, so this can change it to, does that do anything? Okay, it didn't do anything, whatever, it's fine. Then you can also enable the Bluetooth battery. So if you have a wireless headphone connected that uses battery, some of them show their battery, some don't. Let's see, quick settings. This is this thing. So quick pull down, basically if you pull down from the left or from the middle, it shows the notifications first, but if you pull down from the right, it shows the quick tiles first. Then you can enable the battery estimates. So Not sure where that is actually. Should be in battery somewhere, but whatever, it's fine. And then you can change the opacity. So if I want it to be fully opaque, or fully transparent, I mean, it looks like this, but honestly this looks kind of bad. So if you wanted to have it fully opaque, it looks like this. I'm not sure how well this will come up on the recording because YouTube likes to compress stuff a lot. And then you can also use background blur. So at the moment it's like super transparent. Oops. And if I do a blur, it's like, it's still transparent, but it's blurry. I don't know, I like the super transparent stuff. Then you can use a header image. So if I select static or whatever, pick an image from collection, local, can I do local? Or whatever, we'll just put sunset. Oh no, you can put image from, yeah, so there we go. You can see at the top there. That's pretty cool. And you can put in an image from your gallery. So I'll just pick one here. Let's see. Yeah, whatever. I'll put a picture of my eggs. Yeah, so there you go. That's how it looks like. You can darken the image as well, which is pretty cool. So now my eggs are fairly dark. But I'm just gonna turn this off since I prefer the kind of black look. Yeah, so anyway, the columns. So yeah, portrait and landscape version as well. So this is the columns is 6 across. So if I change it to like 4, which is the default, it will look like this, kind of like default Android or whatever. And you can like ramp this up all the way to 8, which in my opinion looks way too clustered. So 6 is pretty good for me. And then you can also do the columns for the quick bar. So this is like when you first, so I'll show you what I mean. So if I put it to, yeah, 6, yeah, so, or I'll just crank it up to 8. So when you first pull it down, it's 8, but then when you pull it more down, you know, it goes to whatever you had it. So like this, 6. I like to keep it as 6 as well, so that way it looks, you know, kind of uniform with the rest of them, if you know what I mean. And then you can display title. So by default they have title. You can turn it off, but then it kind of becomes confusing. So I like to have the title on. That looks nice. Oh yeah, and then the rows, where are they? Yeah, rows portrait, there we go. So you can change this to 1 even. So that way, I don't know, that just looks weird. Change it to 2, which can be handy if you're doing like kind of minimal setup. But I like 4 since it's looks pretty cool. Anyway, brightness slider. So this is this thing over here. You can either have it on the top, which looks like this, or you can even have it hidden, which looks like this, since you can use the notification bar to slide your brightness. And then you can have the, if I have this on the bottom and I put on this, these two, you can select the auto brightness by clicking it here, which is a really annoying feature. And then you can use these buttons to decrease it. Okay, they do not work, it seems. Oh no, they do, just very slow, very little decrements and increments. I'll just put that on maximum since it looks better for the video, and I'll actually just hide the status bar since don't really need it. Oh yeah, so this thing at the bottom is the footer, basically this bar here. This allows you to see kind of like different things. So The settings icon, you see here at the very right, you can hide it, so it's no longer there. You can have the running services icon, which is a shortcut to your running services, so you can see all the kind of stuff that I use. I do not know why Pixel Launcher is running, because I'm using Smart Launcher. Well, I'll deal with that later. User switch icon. I guess I have the user switch disabled, but whatever. And then the edit icon, which allows you to edit the what quick tiles come up. So I have most of them connected here, so you can just add them by clicking on them. And yeah, so I just like to keep that on. Alright, so next is the lock screen. So if you're on the lock screen, you can double tap to sleep, which is nice. Hopefully this does not mess up my screen recorder. Then you can select media art. So if I play a song here, if I play it like on low volume, okay, so I need to play it on super low volume to actually see the, so you can see the background of the artwork. So if I disable that and lock the screen again, it'll just show up as your default background. And then you can also blur the background, so this is 0 blur, and then if you max it out like close enough, it'll be pretty much green. So I like to keep it as kind of like fairly low. And then you can have the music visualizer, which is the bars at the bottom here. So if I turn it off, it's not there. And now inside the music visualizer, you can show it on Ambient Display. I'll show you Ambient Display in a bit. You can do automated color, which is the rainbow basically. Or, never mind, the lava lamp is the rainbow. So you can see that the bars are changing their color. And if I disable it, it should be green, or whatever the artwork is. And you can disable that as well, which will probably be gray. Yeah, so it's just gray by default. So yeah, I just like to keep the rainbow on. And then for the rainbow, you can change the colors like very quickly, which looks like if you're in what you call those, a rave. And then you can have it like change like gradually over time, which in my opinion looks much better. And then you can select the lines count. So I have it maxed out because I'm a madman, but you can change it to like even 16. So it looks like that, kind of like retro look. This is how 48 looks like. And then I just like to crank it all the way up since it looks pretty cool. And then setting sanity level and opacity. I'm not sure what sanity level is, so I just leave it as default. And opacity here, if I change it to like all the way to 10, you probably won't even see it on the recording, but I can see it just faintly. It actually looks more like your screen is glitching out than a music visualizer. And then if you crank it all the way up to the maximum opacity, it looks like this. In my opinion, it looks a bit too bright now, so I just like to keep it around 60. Maybe a bit more. Kind of depends on the background image. So that's the music visualizer. Pocket detection. Yeah, that works, whatever. Then some vibration, that kind of stuff. And then on the lock screen, you can hide the status bar and all that kind of stuff. So I just have it hidden since it looks kind of clean, but you can enable it if you wanted to. So it looks like this. Oh yeah, now it shows the feckers for the mobile network. And yeah, so I just like them disabled since it looks nice. So that's the lock screen done. Ambient display, I'll actually turn it on and show you guys how that looks like. Oh. Yeah, so it looks like this. Shows you the music playing, shows you the clock. I set my one to binary clock. And then you can actually see the music visualizer. You probably won't see it on the recording, but yeah, you can't see it on the camera, but it's there. It's like very faint. Anyway, I just like to turn ambient display off because, I don't know, kind of wastes battery in my opinion. Let's see what else is here. Alright, so buttons. I am using the system navigation is the gestures. So this is what I was talking about of the bar. You can shoot, yeah, there we go. So you can actually change the size of it, I think. Okay, well that's still the same size. Alright, well whatever, I'll just set it to hidden. Alright, then the power menu, this is like all this stuff on the side here. I just enabled literally everything you possibly can. And then I disabled the power menu on the lock screen. So if I press the power menu, it does nothing. And if I enable it, and I just enable all these again, and there we go. So that can be handy as well, but I don't want it on my lock screen because just in case I press it, and then in case I accidentally press reboot as well while my phone's in my pocket or something, you know. Then you can use the volume keys. So when the screen is off, you can hold the volume up button to go to the next track and stuff like that. And then, oh yeah, and if you're doing back, you see there's an arrow here. You can disable that. So now there's nothing and you can just go back. I like having the arrow since it's looks pretty nice in my opinion. Oh yeah, and then there's another cool thing with Lineage or with Havoc OS is this long swipe. So if I do swipe and hold, and if I do swipe from the right, and I do, let's say, a screenshot. So if I swipe from the right and hold it there, you can see there's a screenshot that just came up. So if I increase the timeout to 2 seconds and I swipe and hold, you can see screenshot comes out, which is pretty cool. You can also do swipe edge to edge. So if you swipe from like right edge to left edge, it'll take a screenshot like so. Oops, my finger just messed up, but it still worked. So now you don't have to hold it here. It's kind of nice. You can just go like this, which is pretty cool. You don't have to use screenshots. You can open up camera, flashlight, anything really. You can even kill the foreground app, which is pretty cool actually. But I'm just gonna disable that since I don't use it for anything at the moment. I might later on. Yeah, then haptic feedback. So at the moment, vibration doesn't work on this ROM, so that's how it is. Alright, next is gestures. Jump to camera. This is when you double tap the power button, you can choose camera app. Now I have 3 camera apps, so it's gonna ask me which one. It's pretty nice. Yeah, so system navigation is the same thing. And swipe to screenshot. So this is the swipe down with the 3 fingers basically. And then touchscreen gestures, I have never used these in my life on any ROM. So you can like draw C or whatever, I don't know, it's kind of pointless to be honest. And then you have notifications. You can do charging LED. So this is the LED that's kind of on top of the phone here. And edge to edge lighting and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so this is the kill app button. You have to enable it from here. So if I hold down on power amp, I can close it, since we're kind of done with the music anyway. And noisy notification. Alright, whatever. Now, battery saving. I haven't really tried this, but it looks like when you turn off your screen, you can like disable GPS and all that kind of stuff, which is pretty cool. But with this beast of a battery of like 6000 milliamps, you don't really need to worry about that. Next is a screen, which I guess you can change the amount of roundness to your screen. I'm just going to leave it the same since it looks pretty good. Animations, you can change like the quick tile animation. So at the moment I have it to flip. So flips nicely. You can do rotate like that, which looks kind of funky, but flip is cool. Then you can do it like default, lower, whatever. But since my system animation is set to 0.1, it's kind of no point. And then all of these, you can mess around with these. This is basically like for opening apps and all that kind of stuff. I haven't messed around with these because I like kind of basically minimal animations. And then miscellaneous, you can turn on your gaming mode, which will block notifications, disable automatic brightness, and all that kind of stuff, which is pretty cool. Screenshot, you can set it to full. Charging animation, adaptive playback. Yeah, so you can pause media if the volume or whatever. So anyway, another thing here is if you go into battery, where is it? Yeah, so the smart charge. This is pretty cool. It allows you to like stop charging when your phone reaches level 90, but at the moment this doesn't work, unfortunately. So like that's a shame, but I guess in the next update of the ROM it will be fine. So yeah, that's kind of it really for the custom settings you can use. Now, before I do the benchmarks, I suppose I should mention that I am using Viper effects. This works pretty well. I tested it there, so in my Magisk. I'm not using exposed or anything like that at the moment. So for Magisk, I just have exposed and YouTube advanced, so that works pretty good. So yeah, let's go on to the benchmarks now. So for Geekbench, I'll show you the scores and then I'll just run the benchmark. So you can download Geekbench 5 and then compare to your results. So for history, for single core, I got 776, and for multi-core I got 2822. And then for compute, for Vulkan I got 2.3K, and for OpenCL I got 2.6K. And then the other one, 3D Mark, if I go into my results. For API overload, I got 646,000 and 513,000. And then for Slingshot, I got 6,200 and 5,400. So I'll actually run the Vulkan now. Before doing that, I will stop the recording since I don't want it to interfere with the results. Alright, so I guess thanks for watching, and I'll just leave the benchmarks running here. So I'll do Slingshot X Extreme if you want to follow along with your phone. Oh yeah, this actually has audio, so I'll turn that up. Since it sounds pretty cool. . Yeah, so this one's actually showing FPS at the bottom. Oh geez, the flickering is bad. But hopefully you can see it there. It's around 40, 41. Oh Christ. Yeah, so around 27, 25 for this frame, or for this scene. And around 27 for this one. Sorry about the flickering, don't know why it does that. Maybe I put my hand here, like, it'll stop. Nope. Alright, here's another one which shows FPS. So yeah, around 36. So it's around 22 for this one. 21, 22-ish.
You would not believe what eyes have seen. You would not believe what has happened to me. No, you wouldn't, baby. Nothing worthy to hold. Broken materials. Scattered.
Alright, there we go. Christ. Don't know, my camera does not like white light. So yeah, this time we got what the hell? This time we got 6,200. Let's see my results. Slingshot. Alright, so we got a bit less this time than I did the first time I did this. Well, whatever. Then API overhead, I'll do that one as well. This one is fairly quick compared to the last one. This one just kind of tries to draw as many elements to the screen as possible. So if you're familiar with graphics programming, it's doing draw calls. And draw calls are basically like CPU instructions sent to the GPU. Then the GPU like draws the shit onto the screen. So it's doing a shitload of them. You can see all the buildings or whatever these are popping up in the background. And there we go. That was a fairly quick benchmark. We got, let's see. Yeah, well, we'll check with our history anyway. With our last one, let's see if we got... Oh yeah, so this time we got a little bit better. Somehow. You can see this is our last run, and then this is the run I did before to test if the benchmark actually works. So you can compare that with your own phone. So if you're on stock, you can download these apps and then see how it is. And I'll run the Geekbench 5 benchmark as well. This one doesn't take too long as well. It's just kind of like text across the screen. So I'll probably either speed this footage up or cut it out entirely, since it's not really that entertaining.
All over the bedroom floor. We play the victim. We want some more.
Alright, there we go. That's the score we got this round. So let's compare it to our history. It's actually better this round by a little bit. So I guess pretty much the same, which is good. Now we'll do compute. We'll do OpenCL first.
Been through a change. Now I'll never be the same.
Alright, we got 2537 this time. Let's see what it was last time. Alright, so it was a little bit lower than the first time when I tried it. Come on, focus, man. Yeah, there we go. Alright. Let's try the Vulkan API this time.
Really wish I could, but I know I can't explain. You would not believe what it...
And there we go, 2200. Let's see how that compares with last time around this. Yeah, so a little bit worse, but whatever, same thing pretty much. Alright, so yeah, that's it, I guess. Now, I didn't do a battery review or whatever, because if you flash a new ROM, normally it takes like a week before the battery usage is proper, since Android uses some kind of black magic to, I don't know what it does, but basically after 1 week your battery usage is at its best. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, and bye bye.